Good morning. Good morning. We're just going to give everybody a chance to come on in and then we will get started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. We're just going to give everybody a few minutes to come on in and then we will get started.
Excellent. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, we're fighting a good fight.
All right. We got to keep fighting.
There you go. Cut them low.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. We're just going to give everybody a couple more minutes. And then we will get started at 9:05. So we're going to give them just a couple more minutes to come on in, and then we'll get started. Anybody stay up late watching that soccer match last night? Guess we don't have any soccer fans. Guess it's just me.
Which match was that?
Mexico and Ecuador played last night.
Oh, okay. Okay. How are we holding up? We're still
We
in
played
the
tonight. We played tonight.
we're still in the knockout round, as they call it, correct?
Yes, well, tonight's our first match. Tonight.
Oh, it's the first match in the knockout round.
First match in the knockout round. So we'll see if we can get out of the knockout round. This will be the
Okay.
first time we've getting out. If we get out of it, this will be the first time if we get out of
Well,
the round of 32.
okay. We'll call Miss Rudolph.
Say that again.
We'll call Miss Rudolph. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll fight the good fight as well there too. We need to make a statement.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But they got some really good players on the American team. These guys are pretty good. They don't look the way they've looked in the past. So these guys look really good.
Put it to the coach, aligning everybody for a goal and doing what they're supposed to do and being who all they can be.
That's what they're doing.
Well,
That's what they're doing.
that's the recipe. And
That's what you got to do.
if they can do it in
But a
the
lot
midst
of
of all this chaos, we can do them fine.
yep. But a lot of teams have got knocked out. Some of the major players got knocked out. Netherlands got knocked out the day
Uh,
before.
uh,
Germany got knocked out, and Germany is usually a top contender. So
you can't take anything for granted these days.
you definitely cannot.
So you got to keep
You
the
definitely
lights on
cannot.
and keep your focus where it needs to be. But like I said, it bringing those up and those that think that all they need to do is stay up, come on back home. All right. Good stuff.
Well, all righty, y'all. It's 9:05. So I'm sure some other people. I'll just keep my eye on the as people are coming in. But before we get, welcome to our Urban League of Greater Atlanta Entrepreneurship Power Hour. Of course, I am John Pascal. I'll be your host for the day. Mark is away. Well, he's with family. So First, before we get started, I do want to, we have a great event coming up next Thursday, Thursday the 9th. We will be at the Epicenter in Cobb County, Austell, over by Six Flags. We're going to be there. We're going to do a big networking event. We're going to have some city officials. We're going to have some of our subject matter experts, talking marketing, talking, taxes, budgeting. So it's going to be some great, great speakers, great topic. So we want you guys to come out. You don't have to live in Cobb to come to this event. So please, please come, check your schedules. That'll be 3 o'clock, Epicenter on Thursday, July 9th. So just keep that down. You can reach out to me for more details, and I'll send you the flyer so that you can register. Also, we're going to be starting up our capital readiness program really soon. That will be starting the middle of July. So we'll be sending out those flyers to make sure you register for that if you've already gotten it or if you've already seen it. So please, please come and be a part of that program and help you get ready for funding, help you make sure that you understand everything we need to do to get ready to go see those lenders or to see those investors. We got to make sure we're ready before we have those conversations. All right, so today we have a wonderful speaker with some great, great information. So we're going to be talking a little bit about some marketing tools and some things that we should be doing to make sure that we're capturing our clients. So today we have Miss Alyssa Perkins, and she is with Big Paws Marketing. And so she's going to be talking to us about some ways and things that we can do to enhance our marketing, enhance our capturing our customer information. So without further ado, Miss Alyssa, please let me transfer it over to you, and the stage is yours.
Hey, thank you so much. You said, I'm with Big Paws Marketing. We focus on marketing for pet products. That's why it's called Big Paws, if you were wondering. And I've been with them for 6 years. And so I'm just going to get right into it. Let me share my screen. Okay. I mean, that's nice and clear for everyone. So our topic today, stop renting your audience, start owning it. We are focusing on blogs and email marketing. And I'll admit I'm partial because that's my area of expertise, but I can bring the receipts about why blogs and email marketing are really important for visibility, credibility, customer loyalty. Social media has its place, don't get me wrong, but the others are really important too. So when we say rented attention versus owned attention, rented attention is our social media. Owned attention is our website, our email list, and our blog. These are things that are ours. And that's what we mean when we say owned. With social media, it's rented. And this is the sort of the big question I'd like you to think about is if social media disappeared tomorrow, how many customers could you still reach? If you're saying like, oh, I've already got a great email list, I have that, that's excellent. If this question gives you pause, then we've got some work to do. Because that is the big question too. What is social media's biggest disadvantage? It is that we don't, there you go, went forward. You don't own your audience. And I want to be very clear on this, is saying that you can lose it overnight. That's not hyperbole. It's a fact. I've seen it happen. When someone else has control of your audience, it can vanish. And that's the worst case scenario. We never want to be in that position. Here's why this social media only strategy is risky. And if you're in social media only, please don't take this as a personal attack. It's often promoted as being, social media is it. You don't need anything else. But here are the reasons why it's risky and that we've seen it be risky. The biggest one, number one, algorithms change. We had a client, they were doing great. They were hitting number ones on a bunch of different topics and a lot of different SEO keywords. And then Google ran an update overnight. It's one of those things. I've seen, that can happen for anyone. It happened for me, actually. I have a YouTube channel where I teach kids, my own separate little monetized YouTube channel, where I teach kids how to do math. And I had a spike every single year. Every single year, there's a spike about SAT material in September. So I will spend all this time preparing a big push of a course for SAT, and like that's great. And then the algorithm changed and it didn't happen because outside forces, they had that control over my audience. Other one, accounts can be suspended. And these days, sadly, this can happen without human involvement. Accounts can be suspended because an AI, a bot, decided that there's something in your account that it doesn't like. And it's very difficult, sometimes impossible, to get those accounts back. It does happen. Number three, platforms can go bankrupt or be banned. Can't imagine which one I'm talking about there. But that is a risk too. And if that happens, again, it's rented land and that's been taken away from you. Followers are not necessarily customers. They may convert to customers, but sometimes they just really like your content. They really like you. And they're not as likely to convert as someone who's signed up for your newsletter, who has come to visit your website. Virality is not predictable. We all love those viral moments. They're great. They can be so beneficial to our businesses, but they're not consistent. They're not predictable. We don't know if one's going to hit or when it's going to hit. And when it hits, we don't know if the algorithm will shine its light on us once again. And those viral moments are more like a firecracker. They go off, they can be big, and then they can fizzle away. So would you rather have that firecracker or would you rather have more predictable growth? And that predictable growth is where email and blog post websites come in. So when I say the value of owned attention, I really want to be clear on what this means. It does not refer to purchasing contacts. That sometimes is promoted as being a way to jump ahead in the queue, to get a whole bunch of email contacts right off. Hey, I can provide this for you. It's 1,000 contacts. You can just start emailing everyone. Do not do this. This is not a sometimes don't do this, please don't do this. This is, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, do not do this. This raises not just the ethical implications, but just from a purely, self-interested perspective, it destroys your credibility when you're sending out emails because you're going to have a lot of people that are going to get this email newsletter that they didn't ask for. They didn't sign up for. They did not give permission for that contact. Permission consent is critical. You're going to have a ton of unsubscribes. A lot of times when those people sell these contacts, they're not real. They are fake. And so then you're sending to all these fake, non-existent inboxes. All this hurts your deliverability. It hurts your reputation as a good email sender. Don't do it. I know it's a long, hard slog to try to get email contacts in, but we don't really want people that don't want to be there. We want people that want to hear what we're saying. We want people who are a little like, hey, cool, what did they send me when they get an email? We want fans. We don't want random people that never asked to be on our list. That's not going to help us grow. So for many, many reasons, do not purchase contacts. Just don't do it. Contacts should always be permission-based. We want the people to select and to opt in. If you're having a problem with bots as a little side thing, you may want to try a double opt-in procedure. That way you absolutely know that every contact that joins your list is a human. A double opt-in, if you're not familiar, means when the person signs up for the email, signs up for your newsletter, they get an email that says, hey, are you sure about this? Did you really mean to? Not in those words, but you know what I mean. It's just confirming, hey, would you like to be a part of this? If you say yes, you're in. If not, just ignore this email and we won't contact you again. It's very permission-based, and that also is a good way if you're getting flooded, if you're getting a dirty email list that's flooded with bots signing up for your newsletter. That's a good way to keep it nice and clean. We always want to ask permission. So yeah, when I use the term owning, it means a third party cannot take those contacts away from you. And that's what we want. Social media, it can be taken away. And when you least expect it. The way I like to think of it as watching a movie on Netflix versus owning a Blu-ray. So I don't know if you've ever had this experience. I seem to have it a lot. I want to go, I watch a movie, I watched it on streaming, and then a few months later, a year later, I'm like, you know what? That was a really good movie. I'd love to watch it again. Go back, it's gone. It's just gone. And you're like, but I'm paying for the streaming. I'm paying. Like Netflix has decided, no, you can't watch that anymore. But if I have that Blu-ray, I have physical media, I can watch it whenever I want. And Netflix cannot take it away from me. And that's what we have in our streaming on the Netflix versus our email lists and our websites, our blogs are the Blu-ray, that physical media. Hey, email marketing is not dead. Here are my very good reasons why I make that claim. First, ROI or return on investment, the money you get back for the money you spend. Time and time again, and this has been confirmed yet again in 2026, email still beats social media, ads, and other forms of marketing for return on investment. It's generally very low cost for the number of people you're reaching, the number of engaged people that you are reaching. You get social media, you might get something on your feed. It has nothing to do with you. You flip on. Someone saw it, but they didn't really engage with it. They weren't that interested. Your email list, they're already interested. They signed up. They chose to be there. They want to be there. When you have an engaged email list and you're using it properly, you're using some of the things we're going to talk about a little bit later to really utilize it to the best of its highest capacity. A lot of the numbers put it as between $35 to $45 return on every $1 spent. So that's huge. None of the others can touch it. Second reason is personalization. This doesn't just mean putting someone's name at the beginning of the email, though that's great. That's awesome. We want to have those personal touches. More than that, it is segmentation, triggers. When we say segmentation, this is when you are dividing your audience based on things they've told you or things they've done so that you know what they're interested in. So if you have someone, like for use an example, I have clients that do pet related items, pet products, pet medicines, things like that, pharmaceutical companies for pets. These are the types of, pet products we're talking about, things you buy at PetSmart, things the veterinarian might prescribe. So if someone has purchased a lot of things that were for cats, and we go, okay, they own cats. We're going to put them in the cat folder, in the cat segment. So if we have some information, they're like, this would really appeal to cat owners. It's only going to go to those cat owners. Why would a cat owner want to know about the latest news in dog collars? That's not, we want to segment things, if possible, so that it is more personal to that person. It's more interesting to that person. It doesn't mean being creepy. It doesn't mean trying to find out all this data about someone so you can give them something that makes them go, how did you find out this about me? No. It just means things that they've done. Let's say if they're shopping on your website and you have 3 categories of product and they're always buying out of this one category. Okay, if you have a sale on products in that category, let's send it to those people, those who we already know are really interested in it. That is what segmentation is about. People's past actions and information that they've told you. Maybe they told them, it's your birthday, things like that. This information that they have volunteered or their actions they have done can help us segment and deliver things that are more interesting to them, that are more useful to them. And usefulness is huge. We will get into that a little bit more later. Triggers. Triggers are when someone does something, it pulls the trigger and a corresponding email that applies to them is sent. So these are the kind of emails where if someone signs up for your newsletter, then there is a welcome series. That sign up triggers that welcome series of emails to bring them in and to show them what you're all about. These are your abandoned cart emails. These are your product has shipped emails. They're automatic things that happen that trigger after certain events. Give, 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 ask. I love this principle so much. I don't think it gets talked about enough, but it's so good at building trust, loyalty, and even a sense of obligation towards your brand. This is kind of the reason, like when you go into a Sam's Club or Costco or BJ's, or they have samples everywhere. You walk along and they're just giving you samples. It can feel like, wow, they've given me so much. I'm like, I might as well just try one of these things. It's that sort of idea. If you have a friend and all they do is ask of you, are they really going to be a good friend? Are you really going to look forward to them, contacting you? If every time they message you, every time you call, you're like, oh, what's he asking me for now? Hey, can you come help me move? Hey, can you come get me at the airport? Okay. Every time you're asking, that erodes your enthusiasm for talking with that friend. But if you have a friend that's very giving, who's always trying to help, who's always like, yeah, I'll help you with this. Oh, I was at the store. I found this thing on sale. I know you love it. I picked you up one. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Then when they actually do ask you for something, you're like, of course. Absolutely. This same principle is something we're going to do in emails and something we're also going to do with the blogs. You should not be sending emails that are just asking. Do not, please, please do not send emails that are just, we're having a sale, come buy. Come buy from me. I have this new product, come buy it. We want to have emails that also give. And this is going to vary depending on what your product or service is, what your area of expertise is. I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm representing, and this is not a true client, I'm picking one. I'm not using any real client names or information. But let's say I have a client that they are selling a special kind of dog harness that's great for when you go hiking up a mountain, that the dog can go hiking with you. Okay, so what could be some gives that they would give to their audience? They can say, my audience are people, they really like hiking with their dogs. They like going out in the wilderness. What's some information that would be helpful? I might send them an email on, well, it's summer. Here's an email with our best tips on how to keep your dog cool and safe when it gets really hot, and how to keep yourself safe too. Oh, thank you. That's nice. That's helpful. They're going out. Let's say it might be if I'm trying to segment as well. All right, in this part, I know these people live on the West Coast. What are some issues that might happen if they're out hiking on the West Coast? Maybe I can give something that's a little more segmented, give them some helpful information about that. There's a lot of things we can give without asking. And the more we can give and then ask, the more it's kind of like, you've given me so much, I gotta buy something from you. That is the feeling that starts to build. Email fuels future sales. Email is great for promoting launches of new products or services, for promotions, for those Black Friday events, for getting our customers that are our fans to give referrals. Loyalty programs can be run through emails. All of this fuels, repeat purchases. It's really excellent for building that sort of connection. At the end of the day, we want people to almost look forward to getting our emails. Blogging. Blogging is one that has taken a lot of flack. I think caught a lot of strays in the last few years, especially with the rise of AI. But no, there's still a lot of benefit. I have a very recent real world example that I'm going to show you in a minute that I think is pretty cool. The biggest thing that blogging does is build authority. Accurate and, this is important, well-written blog posts establish you as an expert in your field. They do not have to be a mile long. We don't want them to be full of filler. We want them to be long enough to cover the topic at hand, but we don't want them to be just writing just for, like, I just got to write something. No. We want them to be the expert in your field. Go back to my little hypothetical example of our company that makes harnesses for people that like hiking. Expert in the field might be a long blog about one of those same topics I mentioned, like a long blog post about ways to keep your dog cool in the summer heat when you're hiking. Plants to keep an eye out for that could be dangerous to your dog if they were to eat them or come in contact with them while you're out hiking. How to identify poison ivy, poison oak. These are things that are related. It always has to be related to the product or service, things that people who purchase your product or service would be interested in and would want to know. It does not, it should not be something that you're an expert in that is not related to the product. So let's say our company that makes the dog harnesses, let's say if they were like, well, I know a lot about, dogs that are living in apartments, how to keep them happy. I'll write a blog post about, because it's dogs. It's dogs. And our customers love dogs, so I'll write about dogs that live in apartments, how to keep them happy and not bored. It may be an accurate and well-written blog post, but it's not showing you're an expert in your field, that narrow sort of field that they assume is what you know. We want to be focused. And this isn't just with our clients, it also builds authority with search engines. Blog posts are a 24/7 ambassador for your brand. This is why evergreen or always good posts are better than flash in the pan posts about a current event. Leave that for, your YouTubers that are wanting to do things that are of the minute. Leave that for your news sites. We want things that you can write it once and it's going to be useful for a long time to come and hopefully won't require much rewriting or updating to stay relevant. People will be looking at your website, looking for this information around the clock. You do not need a customer service agent answering. You don't have to reply to anything. It's there to speak for you. Back with the Google, it increases your ranking position. Google trusts authoritative sites more and gives them more in return. So if you have one company that's just selling dog collars, but they have no information on, they have no additional blogs, they have nothing to show Google that they are an expert, that this is a well-trusted, giving company, then it's going to be lower in those searches. Higher in the searches is if it is authoritative. And this I'm referring to small business brands. I'm not talking about companies that have the money to just throw the money at the problem and through ads and stuff to try to become a household name. That's a whole nother beast. I'm referring to a small business brand that does not need to become a household name to be successful. It just needs its people to find it. And this is one of the ways that can happen. Blogging also feeds your other content. A single blog post can power long-form content like YouTube videos. It can also do short-form content, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikToks. It also can provide information for your email. You can send out the email with points from the blog post over time, a couple little tips here and there. Or you can have the email being, hey, we've got this new blog post with this good information. It's another way to give. So it's not just a one and done. It also helps with other things as well. And here is my real world example of the power of blogging. This is very recent. This happened in the last month. We had a client that came to us with steady traffic. They were already making sales. They're doing good, but they were wanting to go to the next level and they didn't know how. They'd kind of hit that plateau. They already had dozens of blog posts. Like, okay, she's doing the work. But the posts were related to her broader area of expertise, but not strictly zeroed in and focused on her product. That same sort of thing, like that company with my fake company with the harnesses, if they were writing about, oh, they love pets. I'll write about cats. How can someone, get your picky cat to eat food? Okay, that's helpful information, but someone who comes to that post is not going to scroll down and go, oh, I'm so interested in these dog harnesses too. No, this is part of the reason we want them to be locked in and together. And this was her problem. She had all these posts. She was an expert. She knew all these things, but they weren't funneling back into her product. They were not bringing potential customers to her site. So we had 6 months of posting our new blog posts that were more focused, product directed, and then we looked at Google's numbers. And when I say product directed, I am not talking about being an ad. I'm saying it's a give, 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 ask, where we give a lot of information, and at the very end, we're like, something else that can help you is our product, and a little CTA at the bottom. So we have 6 months before, and then we have the 6 months after. And these are pretty remarkable because usually it can take like 6 to 8 weeks for a post to start gaining traction. Right. So the previous 6 months before we started, 13.7 thousand clicks. After we started our new progress, our new blog post campaign, 61.4 thousand clicks. Total impressions went up from 1.02 million in Google search to 6.05 million. Our click-through rate stayed about the same. It dropped a little, which is to be expected when Google starts showing it to a lot more people. Not, some people are not going to be interested. But our overall Google ranking position for all of our keywords also went up. So if you're a math nerd like I am, that is a 493% increase in impressions and a 348% increase in clicks. That is not ad driven. Again, this was for an established site, so I would not expect this sort of huge blossoming growth for a site that is brand new, that has not done any blogging. But for an established site, I think it shows a really good reflection on the exponential growth that can happen. And I always like looking at percents as opposed to just raw numbers, especially if you're just starting out. Percents are a good way to see how you're growing. I always tell people, I said, don't compare yourself to others, compare yourself to you yesterday. So if from, 6 months ago to now, you tripled the number of visitors to your website, that's amazing. That's a huge percent growth. Obviously, if you're starting with a small number, the actual numbers might not be so impressive to others. Don't focus on that. The percent of growth is huge. Right. Now, okay, so email lists are great, Alyssa. How do I grow these things? How do I get a good email list? One of the best things to do is a lead magnet. Discounts are fine. But if we're wanting people to give us their personal information is kind of sacred. We don't just hand that out. In an increasingly unprivate world, privacy is very protected. So a lot of people will want to give a discount. They'll want to say, hey, sign up for my email, my newsletter, and you'll get 10% off. You'll get 20% off. That's great. Lead magnets are better. Discounts only really work for someone who's already on the train they want to buy. If someone has just discovered you, or maybe they've come to your website through a blog post and they're just reading this and they're like, okay, this seems like a reputable company. I like their stuff. Okay. That's a discovery phase. They're not necessarily ready to buy. So if you're saying like, but we're giving discounts, sign up for my newsletter, you'll get a discount. That really only is effective if someone is already past the discovery phase and is ready to purchase. A lead magnet is something that you give free of charge that is helpful to your target audience, to your avatar. This comes in a lot of forms. It can be, let's say if you're an author, it could be a exclusive content, a short story you can't get anywhere else. If you are offering business services or advice, it could be a checklist that's helpful for, your business customers that's related to your field. Someone that I know that does eco services, they have eco-friendly stuff. You sign up for the newsletter. 5 plastic bottles are removed from the ocean in your name if you sign up. This is a good place to get creative, to think of something that would be interesting to your avatar that you can give away. And lead magnets are also evergreen, we hope, so that you make it once. It may take some time to make it, but then it keeps growing your list. Giveaways are a way to get a larger lump sum at first. Expect a higher rate of unsubscribes, especially if you're not careful about who you're teaming up with. And I say teaming up because that's usually a way to get a higher return, to get more people involved in the giveaway, is to team up with hopefully related businesses or services and create a larger giveaway of products or services. A lot of people, of course, they just are in it for the giveaway, and then after they start getting your emails, they're like, I don't want to hear from you. That's going to happen. But it is a good way to go in the door. Always, and I don't think I put this on there, and I do apologize for that. If you do in-person events, if you have a storefront, if you have a pop-up store, if you go to conventions, if there's any place where you are interacting with the public, always have a way for them to sign up for your newsletter, your email on site. The easiest way to do this is to have just a little sign that has a QR code that takes them to your subscribe page, a landing page you've created, that they can sign up for your list. We want to make it as painless as possible for people to subscribe, to give their consent for this. We want engagement. We want yay, not eh. It is not helpful to your business to get an unengaged subscriber. It may feel good, like I have 10,000 subscribers, but if 5,000 of them couldn't care less about getting your email, they're not engaged. They're not useful. They're just costing you money because you have to pay to send out those emails. We don't want that. You're going to get way more benefits from a 1,000 list of engaged subscribers versus a 10,000 list of meh. We want engagement. Okay, when you are blogging and you're wanting to grow your authority, and I clicked backwards. There we go. There we go. Forwards. A lot of people are touting AI as being the easiest way to do it. Oh, you don't even have to write. I just type in, I want a blog post, AI spits it out, and it's awesome. AI can help. Do not let it take the wheel. You are the authority. You are the driving force behind your brand. And you are what people would be interested in, knowing what you think, because you're the authority. You know what you're talking about. AI knows what other people are talking about. Especially if you're in a position where you know your stuff. Do you really want AI writing a blog post pulled from people that know less? That's not helpful. What AI can help you with is with getting ideas, with brainstorming. If you're not necessarily experienced in how to structure a blog post, it can help with that. But you always want to be the one that is taking the wheel behind this. Also, people are getting better and better at clocking AI written and AI created material. So if you just put in a prompt into an AI and spit it out and just put that on your website, you're actually hurting yourself, because people that come and recognize it as being AI, they're like, okay, I could have done this. I could have looked on Google and just found this. Why am I coming to you? We want your authority to shine through. Learn about SEO and AEO. SEO is search engine optimization, and AEO, oh, I'm forgetting what the A stands for, but search engine optimization is how you structure and write a blog post so that Google knows what you're talking about. It's how we put certain keywords in it judiciously at key locations throughout so that Google knows that we are an authority. We know what we're talking about. AEO is how we do things that let AIs know that we know what we're talking about. This is something that AI is very good at. If you've written a blog post, you literally copy that blog post, put it in something like ChatGPT, and then ask it, write me a description that is optimized for AEO for this post. What can I do to change this? What should I do? What are some keywords I could add and where to make this post more SEO and AEO friendly? That is a really great way to use AI, and it still keeps your expertise front and center. But if you do not use this, search engines and AI search engines cannot find your well-written content. We need to make sure it's done properly. Grammar and spelling do matter, but being the world's best writer doesn't. Having someone else proofread it, or again, if you don't have someone that can proofread it, ask an AI to do it. Ask them to proofread it, to see any grammar and spelling errors. People judge. It's a sad truth of this world that people do judge on things like that. So if they see something that has spelling mistakes, if they see something with grammar errors, They're going to assume, oh, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. Ridiculous, I know. Because you can spell doesn't mean you're an expert, and just because you can't spell doesn't mean you aren't. But we have to, it's not reality, it's the perception of reality. So even if you're not the world's best writer, if you are authentic, if you are writing with your authority, authenticity, again, with people becoming more and more suspicious of AI generated content, authenticity is often attractive, even if it's a little less polished or not as pristine and perfect as something that's written by AI. It's fine. Don't worry about that. As long as things are correctly written, spelled correctly, written with your authority, it's going to be good. When you're writing, do not fall into the trap of trying to sound verbose, of trying to impress with vocabulary. It's not good. Small sentences, short paragraphs, limited topics in each post. You do not have to cover everything from the invention of the wheel onward in a blog post. It's better if you don't. And when I say small sentences, I mean it. Small sentences do not have more than three sentences per paragraph of these small sentences. If you're a person who, like me, I had to break myself of this when I became a content writer, blog post writer. I would like compound sentences. If I'm going to the store today, then I would like to buy this and I would like to buy that. Three different parts. Search engines, blog readers, they don't like them. Keep it short, keep it simple, 3 sentences per paragraph, limited topics in each post. So it's not as difficult as you might think to write these. Consistency and quality versus quantity. Which one wins? Oh, it's quality every time. And there it goes. It is quality. That consistency and quality. And when I say consistency, it's having to do with your schedule, not necessarily with being the same thing every time. So for emails, these are the biggest points in having good emails. That give, ask. This is not a strict sort of thing of a 3-to-1 ratio. It's just saying give more than you ask for. And that's how we build loyalty. That's how we build fans. Some of these big companies, they don't have to do that. Like Coke doesn't have to give people anything because everyone knows Coke. All Coke has to do is go, hey, you remember that Coke exists? Don't you want one? That's all they have to do. We're a small business. We have to do more. We have to show people that we're worth giving money to, that we're worth giving their time to. So if you're emailing, include those on a regular basis, ones that are just helpful, that give things. When you are emailing, consistency, whether that's 1 time a month or 3 times a week, it needs to be what works for your audience and what you can reasonably and consistently do. Even if it might be better for your audience to have once a week, if you can't consistently do that, then don't try to establish that schedule. Consistent once a month, that's great. We want the people to know that we're always here. Keep reminding them that we're here. We don't want to burn ourselves out or go beyond what we can handle, either physically, mentally, or monetarily. We always want to be trustworthy. Our subscribers trusted us with their data, with their name, their private information. We do not want to betray that trust. We do not want to sell their information. We want to make sure that their data is kept in a secure system. These are referred to as CRMs. We're talking about our customer data management. Make sure that your email system that you're using, all that, is a trustworthy, solid system so that their personal information is not betrayed to the world. For blog posts, same principle, except that give, ask comes within a single post. So this is when you have all this information that you are giving freely, and at the very end, you have that CTA, that little nudge towards your product, or maybe even a line or a paragraph within there about how your product works with this. To go back to my little example of the dog harness, maybe it's a post on things that are helpful for when you're out on a hike, things that keep you safe. And it's a list, and there's 10 items in there. And in that 10 items, one of them is your harness. That's a give, ask. The whole post isn't about that. You're giving other information, but you're also asking. For blog posts, same thing. Once a week is probably the max. Some people try to flood more. We haven't really seen in Big Pause marketing, we haven't really seen that that's more beneficial. A well-written blog post once a week, that's going to do as much as anything. If that is too much, and for a lot of people, especially a one-person team, it is once a month, even if it's every other month, just try to be consistent and go like, this is my schedule. I'm going to put a blog post out in this time. Use that search engine optimization and optimizing for AI, but write for your customers. The SEO will get you noticed, but if it gets in a blog, and if your blog post gets in a search engine and your customers get there, but then it's not written for them, they're clicking away like that. They're not going to care. Right, so our final takeaways here. Social media can get you attention and it is a useful tool. It's great. I am not going to knock social media, but it is building on borrowed land. Your website, your email list, they are business assets and they are yours alone. They can't take that away from you. Blogging is great for increasing your visibility on search engines and your authority, that is both with people and with search engines. Email increases your loyalty and helps customer loyalty and helps create those connections and also provides additional ways that you can give and create that sort of like, sort of feeling of obligation there. Together, they are going to strengthen your business and fuel more stable and predictable growth. And so that is the bulk here. This thanking you so much for listening to what I have to say. Again, my name is Alyssa Perkins with Big Pause Marketing. And if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, there's the QR code. I was off LinkedIn for a while for some personal reasons I will not go into here. I'm going to bore you with those. So, but if you want to, I'm back on it finally again. So if you'd like to connect with me on that, I would love it. And that's my presentation. Thank you so much for listening. And so now I'm going to stop sharing there. And I guess if we want to open up to questions, I would love to do that.
All righty. Thank you. Thank you. Do we have some questions? I see a hand raised, Mr. Charles. Charles, unmute if you're talking, you're muted.
Well, I'm unmuted now.
There you go.
Thank you for an engaging presentation.
Thank
And
you.
my focus is in the midst of a pivot. What are the main areas you should focus on? Should it be your website? Should it be your social media? Or should it be your personal engagement?
Are you pivoting towards a totally different service? Is your business changing direction, like it's offering new products or services? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, actually, it's going to be a composite of change in services and bringing in a product that complements those services as well.
The question really is are these new products and services for your existing customer base? Are your existing customers going to be interested in these new products and services? If they are, then it's going to be more about promoting to them and letting them know, hey, you thought we just did this. We're also doing these other 3 things too. Come back, come back. We have these new things for you. You're going to love them. If it's not really going to be appealing to your existing customer base, then you're going to need to be focusing more on getting new customers, new avatars in that are going to be interested in that. And so that,
excuse me.
No, I'm sorry.
No, and I understand. Thank you. And my focus is, even though my initial focus was GovCon with entry into the VA. I'm in that VA Pathfinder program now. And my initial presentation exposed some gaps that I am resolving now before I go back into the VA, which is my customer focus from a government contracting perspective. Looking at it from that perspective, should my engagement back with them after I make my pivot be focused around my website and direct communication, since I'm actually going and focusing on that agency?
If you are focused on a single client, a single customer, that is going to be very different than for someone who's building an email list, who's building a website, who's building social media. That is specifically aimed at bringing in new customers, new clients. So if your focus is going to be on a single client, it is, and again, I'm saying this with a little hesitancy because I have not pitched to for government clients or VA clients, so there may be some specific things that I am not familiar with, and I acknowledge
Mm.
that. If you are someone who has a single client, it's still not a bad idea to establish a website that shows you are an authority on a subject, so that if something was ever to happen with that single client, you are ready to go forward with other clients. But
Mm.
generally speaking, email and social media is more about gaining new clients and getting new customers in the door and getting new loyal customers. If that's not a focus of your business, that seems like it would be just with this little information I have, it seems like that might be wasted time.
Okay.
And more establishing your authority might help your current pitch and any future pitches.
Excellent. Sounds good. That seems to be the focus for me. And thank you for such a detailed presentation.
I
All
think,
right, Monet, I see you have a
Mhm.
question.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Uh, Good morning. Ms. Perkins, I want to say thank you so very much. I learned a lot and you reinforced a lot of my plans. I am starting, uh, uh, I just registered my small business. So I'm stopped talking about it and actually doing it. And my plan is, first of all, I want to say thank you. I am a techie and also a published writer, and thank you for presenting not to rely on AI.
Yes.
Where you specify you the authority. I have to tell them all the time. Don't speak for me, don't think for me. So thank you for that. But my marketing and advertising plan, I'm going to build my own website that has blog, podcast, my written stories, testimonials, so on and so forth. And the plan is to use social media because unfortunately, as you said, the algorithms and programmings have deleted my posts on social media. So I'm not relying on having my content on social media only on my website, but using social media for marketing and advertising. Is that correct or not?
Yes, that sounds great. And I definitely don't want people to come away thinking that I hate social media and like, no. But I like to warn of the dangers, like you just said, that things can get yanked, things can get pulled, and we don't want to have all our eggs in one basket. Social media is really great for gaining attention. It's really great. When those viral moments happen, they're awesome. But having that base of having a website that you own, of having your email list, that's steady and that can keep you going even when social media fails you.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. And one little add-on I'd like to do for the AI. One of the things that AI is great for, if you're very new to blogging, if you don't know, or if you're wondering, like, what should I write about? What should I do? That's something it can give you ideas. It's very good. You can actually tell it saying, hey, this is my website. What are the top 5 things that I could do to make it more SEO friendly, to make it more appealing, to make it more. When you're really stuck, it's good for that. It's good for being that employee who does the research and gives you information. So that I do. But yeah, I definitely am not, I don't believe in letting the AI do the work, do your writing and the creative part of it. That's where you bring your awesomeness to the table.
All right, Miss Shine, I see you got a question.
Yeah, I loved your presentation and I want to say thank you. I was wondering, what do you consider like an easy email platform? Because I think that the give ask formula was a great thing that I can easily remember and I can do. That was one question. And the second question I had was, you suggest on your website, you said blogs. So we should post our blogs on our website, or should it just
Yes.
be like, okay,
On
those,
your website. Yes. You need to own it. There's some others. My little side thing. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Skip grants. If you're familiar with this, if you've heard of them before. They're very good for helping small business owners find grant opportunities. That's a website, it's a resource that can be used. Recently, they've been trying to push people to post blog posts on their site, and they've been promoting it as being it's helping you by posting blog posts on our site. Please don't fall for things like that. It's not true. Post it on your site. We want to build your website, your authority. This is the first time I've seen it, but I'm sure they're not the only ones that have done that. But if you did that, you're only helping them. So absolutely, the blog posts need to be on your site to build it. And to your question about the email platforms, they're all going to have a learning curve if you haven't used them before. If the thing that I would start with is how many email subscribers you have now, and if it's a small number, it always is when you start, go to one that has a free beginner one, has a free intro platform that you can try a free subscription level. That's the word I'm looking for, a free subscription tier. And a lot of them do. Some of them charge you right out the gate. I don't think that's really wise. If you don't know if you're going to have a large email following right off the bat, you don't want to be stuck paying and paying for a long time. A lot of them, there's a lot out there. There's Omnisend, there's Klaviyo, there's MailChimp. There's a lot of really good ones. I like MailChimp a lot. I've used Omnisend, I've used Klaviyo recently. There's a lot out there. But start with one that has a free tier so you can get used to it, see if you like it. And if it turns out you don't like it, you're not stuck forever. Email lists can be transferred to other systems. It's not a walk in the park, but it is possible. So you're never locked in if you decide you don't like a particular email provider.
Excuse me, the chat is disabled. Can
Uh-oh.
you place those bullet those email platforms you just
Sure.
mentioned? Can
I'm sorry, I just fixed the chat. I'm sorry. My
Okay, so
fault.
there's more than this, but here's the ones that I just mentioned. It is MailChimp, Klaviyo, and Omnisend. And there's some others out there. There's definitely more than that, but those are just the three that just I've used the most recently, so they're the ones in my brain at the moment.
where was it placed? I don't see it in the chat. Is it questions and
Oh, I'm
answers?
so sorry. Let me see. I think I just sent it. I sent it to the wrong group. Let me send that to everyone. Okay. My apologies. MailChimp,
Yeah, you just sent it to the.
Klaviyo, Omnisend. I wasn't paying attention to who I was sending it to. There we go.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Miss Avant, you have a question?
It was answered. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
But it was a
perfect.
great presentation. I appreciate it. And I just from personal experience, I found that my email marketing does better than on social media anyway. So like it just kind of solidifies that what I'm doing is working, and I have like a lot of customers that I repeat because they receive the email marketing that I send out weekly, and they actually appreciate it, and they are looking forward to it based on the content that I'm sending them and like the give, ask type format that I use.
Yeah, that's the best. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear actually looking forward to my emails. That's great.
All righty. Well, it is almost, well, actually, it is 10 o'clock. Any last questions before we close out for today? Any last questions? Some great information. Hope you guys took some great notes. Any last questions before we close out? All right, Alyssa, I want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you
Again,
for
you've
having
given us
me.
some phenomenal information. So thank you so much. And we hope to have you back. And hopefully everybody is able to grab your information so they can reach out to you directly. And thank y'all so much. And y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Have a wonderful, wonderful 4th of July this weekend, everyone. Don't forget, like I said, next week we're going to be doing, we'll be at the Epicenter July 9th at 3 p.m. So please join us there. Hopefully Alyssa will be able to join us as well. So thank y'all so much, and y'all have a great day.
You as
Thank you so
well.
much for having me. Nice meeting all of y'all.
Stay
Thank
safe. Drive
you. Yes,
fast.
sir.